Hello, hello, hello. I have yet to figure out what it is. I thought it was the hair, but it was something. Keeps blinking. Only is there. Okay, that should be good. Anywho, hiya, Lucky. Hi, 404. Uh. Oof, his twitchy eye. Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. It's just like, it's not doing anything right. I PM'd my rigger to see. She probably understands and she probably knows, but I am yet to figure out how it works because I'm adjusting the headset. Not the headset. I cut my hair a little bit to make sure everything's okay. I'm basically trying a little bit of everything, but it's not working properly. But anyway, Legend of Horseman True. The Legend of Horseman. I'm actually going to try to download the whole match from my point of view so you can see, because the whole match was just insane from just the whole, like, 60 different horses and everything. Like, and not 60 different horses, like 60 different dudes just going after this one guy. Anyway, next week. There's a text. Okay. So this Friday, I'm hoping to do the one-shot with Lucky and everyone. Do Valley Coffee. I spelled that wrong. People. Quiz maybe, and then the boys. Okay. Lucky, right? I did want to talk to you about something involving D&D. You had so much fun. That's good. I'm gonna PM it to you so you can get the gist of it. Okay, that should be good. Okay, that should. So I might do a pop quiz stream on Friday or something next week, because that just seems like it'd be fun. Because I might do another stream on Friday, because that is actually going to be fun. Okay, good. Let me just tell you what the thing is. Okay. Sorry if I, like, randomly spaz out a little bit, because my nose is, I've got something in my nose. I don't know what, but it's like, I just woke up and just like, huh, this is not good, and just sniffly, whatever, craziness, just, whatever. Hi. What art should I use this week? Let's see. No, I'm gonna use a Misty, piece of Misty art. Yeah. I wonder how much I can actually. Office? No, I'm not. I don't have office art. Oh, hi, Jameis. I'm not using office art, so where is it? Oh, it's giant, that's why. It's giant, that's why. Okay, let's put me right. Let's adjust myself. Maybe I can make it so I'm sitting on the side. See how that looks. Yeah, that works. Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. Ugh. Yes. That I found, so I didn't miss. Ah! Yes. I'm also already trying to do some shading and lighting for once. Nice. Yeah, sorry if I keep blinking randomly. It just happens. Down, and let's get the thing. Yeah, I need to always find my styles. Did I add the extended version to it? I did! I actually added the extended version to it. Dang it! Okay, I'm just gonna get out of stream music. Whoops. Okay, let's see it. Oh! That's okay. Hey, no, that's okay. I have, I'm in the model sibling Discord, so that'll be a thing. Right. I will be working on Discord stuff eventually, so that will be a thing. I'm going to make it so that there's roles for, like, the model siblings when they join, if they want to. Tag.
What?
Oh, there you go, there you go.
Yes.
Okay.
I gotta find one.
Welcome, I just gotta set you up in the thing. I think that'll work. Oh, you're giant. Okay, let's shrink you down a little bit. You might want to change your picture on the reactive set because you're kind of just, like, head.
Oh, that's right. I didn't set it for this account.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll just have to adjust it after stream. Okay. Yes, we have model sibling, adorable fox, and his nuts. One of these days, I'm going to just have it where it's like whomever joins is like, oh, well, I'm adding you to the doodle pile. Gonna be lurking, gotta sleep for work. That's okay. You can lurk. The voice in the chat, yeah. That's model sibling. They're adorable and fun.
Stop.
Never! Never! Yeah, adjust your volume. There you go, now people can probably hear you. Oh, no, Natsume is the one who's lurking, sorry. Hidden. Crouching fox, hidden floof.
I guess I was on TikTok.
Oh. Oh my goodness. I will be making... I'm just gonna be saying updates to people who are in just Discord's gonna be updated. I'm going to be making new roles, new channels, and some stuff. Probably some rule changes just because some of them are like a bit old and I don't really think there needs to be like a separate game channels yet, but it's potential. Oh, those TikToks of the youth. Lucky, aren't you like 3 years older than most people in here? No, Algae's like in their 40s. Might work on Succubus Form a little bit more today. There's a certain set of eyes I want to maybe do. But even then, 3 years is a decent-sized difference. I think you're the oldest followed by Drac. Yeah, if Kit were here, they'd be near Drac as well.
There we go, now I fixed it.
Okay, let's see.
I could not find my images for the life of me.
You're so small! Hold on, let me make you a bit bigger.
Actual size.
I mean, it's just your head, but even then. There you go. Better. Yes, I'm joined by Nutsme. They're sitting, I'm standing.
I get in trouble, that's why I gotta sit in the front of the class.
That was actually something one of my elementary school teachers would do. Whenever someone got in trouble, she would have the kid sit towards the class, just to fuck with them. Which, I'm just imagining this kid is just like giggling still because he always got in trouble and he was just always sitting towards the class. And it just, eventually he was just put in the corner for some reason and it's like, oh my gosh. Ilhan Gatsune? Ah, maybe. Might be a fun Halloween costume. You actually have any Halloween costumes or anything planned?
Ugh, that's the last thing on my mind right now. There's so many more things that I have to do before then.
Okay, there's this week's schedule. Next week is the 13th. Let's go. Okay. That's done. It's cute. Cute. Okay. Let's just open up the suck. Wait, where did I put it? Where did I put it? That's the other question. Yes. How's that? That's
Keep this up. Obviously, I followed my family members on this account. Just started using
Thank you. No one can handle the suck. I'm pretty sure no one can. Oh, it's in utility picks. Okay, cool. Good. There we go. The suck. Gotta jump.
Alright, on the order so I can start things and stress myself out.
You are cutting out a little bit. Start with things?
Oh, I'm working on stream stuff as I watch you.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because I just love to stress myself out.
Yeah, who doesn't? Okay, so here's what we have designated so far. We have definite thing. This outfit I'm not 100% on. I love the sweater. I love the apron. I love the thigh highs, but I don't want to copy one of my friends too much. She said it was okay, but it's like, I really don't want to follow too much. Well, not follow, what is it? What's the word? Reference too much? Copy? It's not copying, but it's basically stuff. Plagiarize, that's a decent word. So, this outfit might not be the outfit, but it might be the start of one. Because I might have the sleeves go up to like here or something, I might have it where there's a little bit of difference. I still want to stay like the casual motherly thing. I like how whenever I'm like looking at the screen, I'm looking down at you. Hair will probably be a bit simpler than usual. I kind of want to have just plain straight hair. Not like super duper plain, but enough. Add a key. I'm not adding a keyhole. Anyway. Smug. Okay. Not being Abigail Williams from Fate. I do want to have like slits for eyes. That'd be fun. Not like that. I'm actually stuck. There's tons of eyes. Like, those ones are very nice. Those are kind of similar, but very, very simple. Let's actually start with that. Hold on, let's go for thick eyebrows. Oh, thick eye outlines. Like... go like this. Add... oh, thanks for that, Pet Annie. Will there be heart eye toggle? Yes, actually, I will want that. I do want heart eye toggle. It's just yandere mode toggle. That's it. Mom dairy mode. I do want the pupils to be kind of funky, though. They want to be spooky. Oh my god. Okay. I think I got decent eyes. Kind of spooky. Gosh. The kind of eyes of someone that you don't want to be in a back alley with. Or you do. You never know. And there's a Lou drawing idea. Oh yeah, of course. Like, I could always have... oh, that's horrible. I'm gonna keep it. Keep it. Hold on. Okay. Keep that. Just out of nowhere. Hearts. Okay. Do I go like reptilian? Do I go big black eyes? Actually, black sclera would be probably really good. Alright, listen to this song. Man, already listened to some. That seemed semi-common. Well, it's not like super duper common, but if I did like mix bit, a bit more interesting. But, like if I made these bits black here and here. Would want slim eyelashes. Fairly slim. I do like those eyes though, those are and they can be sold. I know if you have done your homework or not. Did you do your homework? Right, I need to write down the thing I thought of the other day. For when I do the reveal for Succubus form. Wait, why is Rune Factory updating? Huh. Glitch. Where is it? Oh, that'll be a fun line to say. Here, the reveal will be interesting for sure. I will do 100, not 100. Actually, yeah, you know what? 100 hours. Who cares? I will hurt myself in the process. 24-hour Tuesday stream. The ultimate day stream. My sinister laughs, Annie. Actually, that's a... No. Let's look up some references for the Black Sun. Let's actually see it down. Oh. Oh. Okay. Well, when in doubt, Shimaji will help you out. That's actually a really interesting idea. Hold on. What if instead we just have it be where... Like... Hear me out, hear me out. Let me just get into it. Since I want to be super duper spooky... Let's actually do... Oh, I think I got it. I think I got it. Hold on a second. And then we just have a little bit right in the center. Okay. I think I like it. I like it. Okay, yeah. Let's actually do both. Yes, the good spook. The good spook. Oh, I love that. I love that. Let me just add like a little bit of white in the center. Okay, yeah, that is nice. I do like that. I might actually do reverse. Like, that's just one idea for the other. But, let's try it where it's reversed, where the blue is actually on the inside. Like, let's just pick a random... Actually, wait a moment. I got my down here. I will want my eyes to be a slightly darker blue. That. And then do it like this. Okay. That might be good too. Like, there's that, which is interesting if I just... Okay. No problem. Sorry if I'm being talkative too much. Like that. Like, there's the reverse, there's that, but I can also just have it be normal. Like, honestly. I could do something like this. Ooh, wait a moment, hold on. Hold on a second. I spot something else I like. Let's get rid of... Yeah, I'd have to restructure the entire eye. These ones are interesting if I just do smaller, like... Let's actually get rid of these, but also just put... Perfect layer below. Layer below, okay. So, if I just keep these clear, then... Hi, Drac! I can just do some... a little bit smaller. Which is just downright insane looking. Just 24/7, like, I will murder you. Just all that crazy stuff. I'm looking through, like, Shimaji's stuff just to see some ideas. I'm trying to find some good eye ideas. Like, I want them to be a little crazy, but not, like, insanely crazy. Out of all of them, there are many that are just small pupils, big eyes. The Fragrant Plains one from Genso Wanderer was the Gensokyo that gods left. Here, let me give you the... It's basically the Gensokyo theme. There you go. Yeah, the Lampedes song. Lampedes? I don't know how to say it. Like Lampedes, Lampedes. You're welcome. There's always like... horns. What do you see with your succubus eyes? Horny. Yes, cave fairies. Well, it was more like hell fairies than anything. Yeah, pretty much. Actually not too bad, but I don't want my eyes to be, like, wonky. Underworld fairy fairies. Yeah, I know. At least know my fairies. Okay, let's try normal eye and see what those look like. Just do black. Where'd you go? So let's go back here. She literally made a cave basement under a rainbow shrine, though. Yeah. I think my favorite thing that happened with that was when Shimaji basically made it into a onsen for them. I kind of like that one better, in all honesty. And I think that one will just be white, and then we just add in a... these ones more. I'll be honest, I like these ones more. Like, seriously, those ones are amazing for eyes, just having it like that. Like, a bit darker than my usual eyes, but still, I'm staring into your soul right now. There is no escape. Yeah, that's basically it. Rainbow doesn't care unless her heater gets too hot or cold. Which is a fun thing Shimaji did. Oh, where is it? Yep, I found it, I found it, I found it. Okay, and sent in the Discord. Okay, so that'll be a thing. Guys are good. I'm glad you like them. I'm trying to decide because... where is it? Because I can easily just go for, like, those eyes, or... Wait a moment, hold on. Why not both? Those are good, right? Huh. What would and wouldn't go audience? Toho fan game? Not entirely sure. Like a. Because I can honestly have just both of these. Yeah, I'm feeling the slits because I'm just gonna. Yeah, I'm feeling the slits more. That. Yeah, the slit eyes are probably good. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna. Yeah. So I want to maybe have a toggle with them for adding the black bits to the eyes. That way it's like, hey, everyone, quiet. Some days I want to be spooky. Some days I may want to be more spookier than others. I just say it's Halloween. Okay, yeah. That way I can just go, okay, everyone listen to me. And you're good. There we go, yeah. Who are you drawing? Me. The suck. It's the suck. Personally, I think if any fan game would work as long as it's well done, doesn't seem impossible for the character. Yeah, I was actually talking with Rinny on it for a little bit. I do not like Genso Wanderer because all the characters are not portrayed well. Reimu and Futo especially. They're the two main characters and they are not portrayed that well. Like, I get it, fandom Reimu is sort of money grabber, but I don't think she's gonna tackle Renosuke just for a thing. And literally cause issues on purpose. Yeah, about any fan game would work, really. That's basically how it is. There we go, that's better. Okay, yeah. Eye toggle works well if I want to be spookier. Stuff like that. And then I can also do... like if I want just the hard eyes. Wait, I need to... Dang it, I need to actually... I'll fix it later. So, the colors for the eyes are perfect. We'll copy that later. Yeah, you could have Saki going grocery shopping. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Actually, that was probably a fun game idea. Sakia goes grocery shopping and has to fight to the death for the last thing. Because that would probably be something that she should do or could do. Like, imagine her going to hell just because someone wanted, like, a specific thing. And it's just like, well, hell's got one of the most important ingredients. Let's go. Let's actually put that. I'm gonna do the hair. Okay, Algie, I'm gonna give you an idea for a game, if you want. Okay, so this is actually perfect because this. Sakia goes grocery shopping, but she has to fight the other quote-unquote mom characters. Like, she has to fight Ran and such for the last things for certain items. Just imagine that, like, a freaking Earthbound or RPG combat systems with Sakia's spell cards and such. What kind of hair should I do? of want to extend the ears a little bit. Like, not a huge amount, just. A little bit. Okay, that's better. Yeah, you don't have to pander to the entire fan base. There are people who do not play certain games because they don't want to. And it's just like, that's okay. Other stuff they can play if they want. Medium length, maybe? Probably medium length. Like, a little bit longer than usual. Like, maybe down to here or something like that. But I'm not entirely sure what kind of... Like, I probably do want something still kind of messy, but not messy. Like... Let's start with like kind of? No. No, I don't. Left side sweep? Maybe. Like, maybe a bit closer to that. Well, so I want the usual mom look, though. Wait a moment! Wait a moment! That gives me an idea. Hold on, I'm actually going to go... I'm gonna make a new ooh layer. So let's go... Okay, let's go dark red for hair. So, I have an idea. I have an idea. Big ol' ponytail. Big ol' ponytail in the back. Sort of messy ponytail, but a big one. Band right there. Yeah. Nothing crazy, but just big old ponytail. That does fit. I'm tempted to have glasses on here too, just for... But no. Like bike and messy? Maybe. And we can go like right down here. A little bit more... kind of crazy-ish hair. Okay, yeah, slightly longer hair, but slightly neater. Because if we compare it to my normal model, it still has, like, the kind of semi-crazy hair, but it's not as crazy. It looks a little bit more brushed. And then that would add a little bit of charm. Okay, I like it, I like it. And do a little simple. Just continue with the, like very, very... Oh. Let's go for... That's actually not bad. Like, hold on, let me get rid of the skeleton. That's actually not bad. Wow. That is actually not bad. I like it. I like it. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna keep that as one option. Yeah, I'm keeping that as an option because that is a really good one. I feel like that fits. It's not too messy, but it's just messy enough at the bottom. No, Lucky, that's the point. That's the point. Like, seriously, that's actually really good. Okay. Huh. It's not too clean, it's not too messy. And if we continue it downwards, like right down here. It's kind of... Okay. I'm gonna say this. It's kind of reminiscent of Rita's hair. I'm moving to... you're moving a couch right now? Oh no. I'd help if I could. I am strong floof. What's this? Oh. Oh. Push from the bottom one side at a time. Yeah, it's probably the best you can say.
Hello.
Hello.
What are you guys up to?
Oh, Shiro, hi. I'm just drawing succubus form.
Sounds hot.
Yep. And I think I've actually got the hair now. Like, that was fairly easy. The first or so hairstyle I actually get down.
Hair, I do find to be super difficult, honestly.
Yeah, there you go, you're altered up now.
All the way turned it.
I like that hairstyle. Let me send you a pic real quick.
That's
That
pretty.
was heavy.
Look in art and you'll see what I'm saying. Like, it's actually really, really good. It's like not super duper messy, but it's messy enough that it still fits me.
I like. Oh, she's so cute. I like it.
That's the goal, and if I want, I could just turn on spoopy mode, which... Oh my gosh, that actually fits so well with spoopy mode. Oh my gosh.
Are you making this like a VTuber model?
Yeah, I am... Well, I'm kind of working on one. I'm giving Rose a reference, and I've got, like, specific things that I want, so I'm like, okay, I may as well just do the base myself.
It'd be cool, like, how Dawn does, like, the turn down everything darken and the lights, the eyes light up. Like in the
Ooh.
spooky. Yeah. Big brain. I think it was big brain.
But yeah, I kind of want that as a toggle. I also want heart eyes as a toggle.
No, that's fair. I think I have that in my rig whenever it's done.
Yeah, succubus form. I'm hoping will be easier for Rose because last time I was like, okay, I need the top done first. Wait a moment, I want to add like 5 different things to this. Like, I want my ears bigger, I want my whistle to exist, I want my shoes to be specific shoes, and it's like, I'm trying to make this as easy as possible this time, but I'm like, okay, wait a moment, I got wings that are crazy and I've got a tail that's crazy.
Fair enough. Fair.
Okay, let's go for tail.
What a draw now.
Tail will be starting...
Oh, and Nappy, she drew a gender bent Shiro, and it looks amazing.
Oh my gosh. Right here for tail.
It looks
I'm going for big tail.
I like the big heels. Why do I hear Discord going? Oh, that one.
Yeah, big tail for whacking people.
Right? I use my tail, say less.
Like, I want to be able to wrap someone up with my tail. That's how I want it to be.
Mine is full. What's the word? Ambidextrous?
Prehensile.
Wait, say that again?
Prehensile. That means you can move your tail.
Prehensile. Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was dexterous something.
No,
That was-
ambidextrous means you can use both hands.
Oh wait, no, I am ambidextrous.
I am too.
Hey.
Like, I am right-handed for, like, writing and art, but I'm left-handed for sports and stuff.
Yeah, me too. Actually, it's very similar. It's funny because my dad's left-handed and my mom's right-handed, so it's like very sometimes gets confusing. Like, I don't know who I am.
Oh, let's actually... Oh, crap.
It's time for critical role.
Oh, it is?
No, it just popped in my head for some reason.
Okay. I was like, don't they usually do that at night or something?
Oh, sorry, that just randomly popped in my head.
Get thicker for the tail near the base.
It's actually tonight, yeah.
Oh. I'm gonna confuse one of my friends so much because she loves dragons and her VTuber model is one. And it's like, are you sure you're gonna be okay with this? And it's like, wait a moment. The wings are gonna be clawed, the tail's gonna be giant, the horns are kind of thunderbolty, but it's like, it's succubus, and it's just like, I swear the amount of time she's gonna draw me is like, I'm gonna be concerned.
Wait, is your friend named
Riot.
Riot?
R1IAT.
Yep. She's so cool.
She is pretty dang
loves
cool.
dragons. And she's really good too.
Immediately when I went into her server, she sent me to Horny Jail, which is basically locked all other rooms and I can't chat in any of them except for the NSFW.
What did you do?
Which I just immediately sent her, well, if it's gonna be that way, I'm gonna get sucked before I'm early.
I mean, might as well, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna rule Horny Jail.
That's funny.
Okay. Kind of a thick spade, but barbs.
Mm-mm. Wait, what? What am I doing?
Hi, Sizzle. Ooh, yes.
Oh, wait, what? Why are you saying hi? Hi, Sizzle?
Yeah, Sizzle's in my chat.
Oh, you're streaming!
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
streaming! I said I'm streaming!
That's not even hear that. I'm at work.
So I'm talking to like 16 different people at once. She is the only one in the fear. There is no end to the horny aura. Yeah, honestly, yeah. You're not wrong, Sizzle. You're not wrong.
Oh, R1AT is streaming now.
We just call her
What the
Riot.
fuck?
Right, I always feel like I'm saying it wrong. That's why I always say it out.
I just had Discord send me a backup code over my phone, and my phone goes, "Do you know this person? Tony Guzman isn't in your contacts." It's Discord.
Tony Guzman.
What a name.
My gosh, Tony Guzman gets him every time.
Just Tony Guzman.
Tony Guzman.
Hey, how's it
back in
going?
the
Tony Guzman. I run Discord around here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it sounds like a mafia name.
Us.
The Tony is sus. Ooh. Yes, it's pointy for a reason!
For penetrating. Wait.
It's pointy for a reason, and you all know why. Oh. The amount of people I will just make blush is very high.
Do it. Execute order 66.
Execute order 69.
For that order.
Hey, Chan.
Oh, thanks for the headbats. Hey, where's the music? What the heck? Oh, there it is. Okay, so that's not gonna be the only barbs. Going all out. Oh, everyone's going to scream.
Game, I love your personality.
Good.
This like evil laughter thing is fantastic.
Just freaking dinosaur-like tail. least the shape of it. I don't know about the size. I don't know about the size. I thought that was me. I was like, wait a moment, what's going on? Oh, I got
I'm
something.
have to work now because I'm almost done. I only have an hour.
Oh. Wait, is that you, gender bent?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
right? I don't think it's done yet, but it looks amazing. I might like get an official thing and do like Luca does from.
Oh no, someone did it. Someone did the thing.
What did someone do?
Did the thing.
What the heck?
It's perfect timing. We were working on the suck, so it's all okay. Oh, well. Okay. Sleepy Aaron, who are you? Hey, who are you? Let me actually.
Okay, I go back to work now. But enjoy your stream.
Enjoy. Thank you for the raid. So, we're working on succubus form. Potential for V2 model stuff. No, the raid missed the ara. I can do another one real quick. Ara. There you go. It's a little bit simpler, but you do it. Yeah, I did it again. Wait a moment, I know you. I know you. Yes, I know you. I did a rating for you once. Right. Welcome, everyone. Am I following you on here? Please tell me I'm following you on here. I am not. Okay. There, one step closer to 486. I'm 400 and you know what I mean. One step closer to 50. I'm sorry, I'm all flustered. I'm sorry for not following you on here before. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. But anyway, welcome everyone. Welcome. We are drawing alternate forms for me. I've made you blush instantly for the past 5 minutes. Perfect. Okay. That's good, that's good. Let me actually... I'm going to expand the image a bit more so I can tail room. Because I kind of want the tail...
Yang.
What?
I'm gonna lurk. I gotta head to the store.
Okay.
Alright, I'll talk to you later.
Talk to you later. Thanks for coming.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Having sense of me follow me is not wrong. It shouldn't be, it's just me. Anyway, yeah, so welcome everyone. We are drawing succubus form for me, which would be basically, what is it, home ec and sex ed and health and everything. So, enjoy that idea. Yes, big tail. The big tail. Not just you, it's Fox Sensei. Well, it can also be Succubus Sensei if we want. Pretty soon. I'll have to get, Rose on it soon. She's the one who did my model. I would join you, but I had to invoke my after 10 p.m. voice. What? The after 10 p.m. voice? I am concerned. What is the after 10 p.m. voice, Sizzle? Oh my gosh. Wings. The wings will be a bit tougher. Not whispering, but it's like ASMR. Oh, okay. Oh yeah. This is the kind of tail where I can just grab people. Just pull them in for the best hugs. Comfy hugs. But also, something might go up the butt hugs. Fun fact about succubi, they can change people's appearances to a degree. That'll be fun. Or a rounded tip. There we go. Oh, nope, that's the wrong one. Right, I've got the rest of it open. Okay. There we go, okay. And we critters less like to... Okay. There we go. Okay. Tail barbs, yes. Tail barbs. Tail barbs. I'm taking a book out of the Manticore from Monster Girl Encyclopedia. And because it looks fun. Honestly, just add more barbs. One-way tail. It's a flexible tail. There's multiple ways it can exit. It can be, like, squished or something. Be squished a bit. It's actually... Actually... I do kind of like that it does... You know, it should be able to stretch out and grab people from 50 feet away. I like that idea, I like that idea. Just yoink. Sorry, I can't stay long since I still gotta hang out with people, but I hope Sensei will have a good stream. Thank you for reading! And I hope you have a lovely time with them. You're welcome anytime. Yeah, sorry I forgot to follow you back on that in Scorpion voice. Get over here! Wraps around someone and drags them to private lessons. Exactly, yeah. Now, I do have an idea for the hands. I will have an idea for the... I'll do that more later. Wings. Now wings. I'm gonna have to make... I feel like this is probably gonna be the most stuff going on. Being easy. So a lighter blue for this. Okay. It's a common grab. You get grabbed and get suffocated by the chest. Okay, so, where is it? Turn off the tail for a moment. Like, I want them to be double jointed with. So... Oh, jeez, that looks creepy. Hold on. That looks creepy when I turn off the tail. Just, ooh. So I want big wings. Yeah, I'm gonna make a... I'm gonna just get rid of that and make it its own layer. I love layers. Okay. There we go, there we go. So I can just do that and I keep the face. Okay. We are good, we are good, we are good. Is it wrong that the design makes me think scandalous succubus star? Yes! Oh my gosh, they come to me because I'm the most scandalous of them all. Do you know how much I just want to just hold up the tail and just do that meme? Ramu, but personality is Squidward. Oh no. Where is it? Where? Okay. Oh? Dawn! Thank you, Dawn! Now Sizzle gets emotes. Thank you. Welcome to Honor Roll, Sizzle. Like... I'm just thinking for the meme, just... I'm pretty sure I can't do that, but I just want to, like, hold on to the tail and just do the joke with the manticore. Find me every time. Dawn is everywhere, yet nowhere, Sizzle. Dawn is everywhere, yet nowhere. You cannot escape. But anyway, thank you. Now Sizzle can have the emotes for a bit. I hope you enjoy them, Sizzle. Okay, let's see. Light blue. Okay, so for the wings, I do want to have, like, a little bit of leeway right here. Also, I'm pretty sure if you have Dawn friended on Twitch, he can just see where you are.
I do not.
Oh! Also, hi, Sizzle. Okay, if you look at stream right now, you are looking very, very suspicious. Because you're staring at me with some very concerning eyes. You're winking too, it's even worse! Thank you for that, Fats. Would you believe it if I said it was by random chance? I would believe it because I don't have many viewers, like usual.
I'm staring at the roof, and respectfully.
I'm staring disrespectfully. I mean, that's gonna be the thing. I feel like a lot of people are gonna be just staring a lot, and I'm going to enjoy it. Because I get to have everyone's attention as I teach them.
I guess.
Okay, bye, Dawn. Also, you have the ASMR voice, I see. Maybe not that, though. Like... You know what Shiro showed me?
I do not.
Gender bent Shiro. Shiro sent me a thing. I like to imagine that you take someone back like the fox who dragged you off by their boxers with your tail. What? I'm sorry? Okay, let's take a look at the wings. So those go up like that and do...
Wait.
What?
Oh, changing version 3 does nothing.
Hmm?
No, I changed the reactive images. But it didn't
Oh.
work. No, it's still sauce.
Look, I will appreciate the sus. I'm drawing succubus form, so you kind of get a pass. I'm gonna be throwing so much money at Rose, I swear.
Same.
It's such a good job.
Can you believe it that my 2.0 custom is more expensive than my model?
I actually do believe it. King, do you want the... Sure. I'll take any and all references. Let's try going a little bit more batty. Oh. Ooh, that means lower. Bit thicker for the... $10? Okay, let's see. Oh, that! No, please, I don't want to go to Brazil! Okay, hold on. I put it in an SFW. Lucky sent me a funny thing.
Oh boy.
Lucky, that is perfect. I will want bigger wings, probably. Or at least, like, fold it up more.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. Except for the base for the wing. I can always have them just upwards, too.
I do kind of like these. They're not hip wings per se.
They do go up higher, like they're multiple jointed.
Yeah.
So I can like stretch them out and just kind of make them bigger. Like up here, you can see that they're definitely connected to a butt, but these ones are connected more to sides. I'm basically combining those two for the two, like kind of like
yes,
these.
Gormagala arms.
Yeah. Also, the notch tails from her. So let me wait. Did you see the tail?
Yes.
I kind of like it like that. Okay.
Going disrespectfully to the tail.
Look, if you just want the tail, then that's okay. Think of all the merch I can sell with it.
A lot.
What was that synth song? That was the Glad Times remix. Let me send it to you. It's one of my favorite remixes for Glad. There you go. Oh, wait, I'm playing the Battle Pikes theme. I'm playing the Battle Pike theme. I might make the wings a bit bigger. I'm probably gonna make the wings a bit bigger.
God.
What?
No, I'm frustrated with some mechanics in Pokemon.
Oh, which ones? Because there's so many to be frustrated with.
A certain few Pokemons are only exclusive to space-time distortions, which are random events which can happen whenever when you're out on the field, so it can take forever before they even spawn on.
So you're just basically waiting for RNGesus to be happy
Yep.
with you. That sucks.
And those are basically the only ones I have left.
That was random, but thank you, Mewtwo. I will accept the random drive-by compliment. Okay. What ones are you trying to find for the Pokemon?
Granite. Granidos, I mean. Shieldon, Sneasel, and Magnemite.
Wait, Sneasel is only available by Space-Time Distortion?
The Jotian version.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Look, Algae, they did not call me cute. They get a pass.
But are you?
I ain't cute. That's if anything right now. No, I'm just gonna send this to just Misty and just be like, hey, does this look good? Like, I'm going to just do something real quick for Shiggles.
She even awake?
No, different Misty.
Ah.
Because the Misty I know loves big hips.
Well, I mean...
And I'm just gonna take a pic and send.
So does Mother Rose, apparently.
That they do, yeah. I'm actually very much sure Rose likes big hips because immediately when I said, you know, you can make the hips a little bit bigger, just like, boom, just big hips.
And all so your fan art so far, I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess when I really look at it, the tail does start a little bit thick for me too, actually. Wide, I would say more wide.
Oh, don't worry, it's flexible.
I guess mother does like wide. It's pastel.
I guess. Oh, there's one. Hey, sheep. You can make the hips a little bit bigger. Yang can't get through doors without turning sideways. I mean, honestly, I was like, okay, wait a moment. I was like, okay, wait. At first, I was like, okay, this is kind of funny. But it's like, then you look down, it's like, oh, no, that's kind of normal size. Big chunk of size then.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that bad.
Yeah. And, I mean, the hips are going to be bigger for succubus form, so it's like, I may as well just embrace it now that Rose likes hips. Give me a sweet little sheep. I think Sizzle was just saying, hello, it's you. Not my fault y'all came out with seductive hips. Look!
No,
Look! We all have hips in the family. It's a general family trait.
Just like, it's pastel, but very silently.
That's okay. You can say whatever you need to.
And I didn't call you sweet little sheep, don't worry. We are past that phase.
Yeah, I think that's very good for the hair. I'm growing onto it more and more. Like, it's basically the neat and tidy Yang. But then when you suddenly just screw up, it's just like, oh, wait, where are they? Like, you're dead meat.
But what if I did it on purpose?
That. Just complete soulless eyes.
Oh no.
Yeah, this is just the nice Yang. This is the nice floof. Floof that you shall not be harmed by. But then, this is if you're just being bad and you need to learn. And the heart eyes are basically like, I'm going to make sure you have a very lovely time.
The best part.
Wing. Actually going to, like, maybe a bit taller, if anything. Let's try making. Actually, wait, I could just literally do that. Hold them down. Okay, yeah, that's much better. That is much better. Big wings. Oh, they are. Wings will be right there.
Ooh. Big wings.
Ooh, yes. Yes! Yes!
Yes. Yes. More.
What if her butt's all like, look, look, the hips and the butt are going hand in hand, especially if you're using two hands to hold. Perfect. See? Works well, right? I honestly hate that whenever I take a sip of tea, the ahagao face just comes.
Oh, I know that feel.
We go.
I wonder if that's an intentional joke by the riggers.
Maybe. Honestly, if they did, it makes sense because G. Kirby. Bum bum.
The subject of riggers are still gonna get over how Dom just has MUBA physics.
Wait, what?
Did you never see his model yet?
I have not seen the physics that you speak of. I've seen him move, but I haven't seen him have the physics that you speak of. What?
He has the same rigor as Bites, I think she's called. I don't know if you heard of her.
No. What?
Well, she has big,
Hanga
personas.
Fugs, okay.
Yes. Don got the same rigger, but his shirt has some amazing physics on it.
I need to see this.
It's wild.
I'm gonna just pull Dawn aside for a moment and just be like, hey, so a certain snake told me something.
Yeah, just do it.
I think that's actually perfect for the wing.
Those wings are nice and big.
Yes, they're good for hugs.
Can you hold? Oh no, they don't have arms, Sag.
What?
They don't have hands.
No, they
so
do.
You can't hold my face while hugging me.
That's what these parts are for, right here, with the wings.
Oh no, wait, yes, you can. Never mind.
Yeah,
Yes,
like,
yes.
the claws are prehensile, they can move. I'm actually gonna move them up slightly so I can have, like, more specific hand parts for them.
Yes. Yes.
Because that way I can just go, okay, I'm gonna hug you now, you're gonna have to deal with it. Because who doesn't like hugs?
Pastel just DM'd me.
What'd she say?
Can confirm you have birthing hips.
Oh my gosh. A lot of people don't like hugs, actually. I know, but I'm saying it as a joke. Like, who doesn't like hugs? And it's like a lot of people, but it's like, but I'm going to teach them how to hug. And now we do the fun part of adding little segments to the blog.
I mean, she's not wrong though. Can I get a red pencil? Yes.
There, now each bit can actually move on its own. That is honestly very interesting now they did it that way. Like, I can just...
gonna DM you real quick. Just look at this. I mean...
Hold on. Okay, let's see.
When you think about it.
Yeah, but I feel like Rose is gonna just go even crazier. It's like, okay, you can make me as thick as you want. Yeah, honestly, that little, like, slip of skin just makes people probably, like, very concerned now that I think about it. Like, I could just do...
Wait, what bit of skin?
Like, I'm adding segments to the claws so they actually can... So that way it makes sense. So, like, when a rigger looks at it, they'll go like, oh, wait a moment, these move? It's like, yeah, they move. Why wouldn't they?
Ooh, yeah.
There we go.
So you can have like an audio animation.
Yeah. Like, I just want... I want them to be, like, able to, like, curve inwards a little bit and just be like, okay, I'm cracking my knuckles, and just from the wings you just hear this cracking sound.
God, a cracking knuckles animation. Imagine.
Since I am basically the I'm going to kick your butt teacher.
Hold on, there's actually a perfect GIF for that. I don't know if you've seen Devil May Cry.
I have. I love Devil May Cry to bits.
Devil May Cry 5?
Yes, I have seen it. It was very, very lovely.
The cutscene before the final boss.
Oh yeah, I remember that!
The guy
Oh my
cracks the
gosh.
wings. I'm not spoiling, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Like that. I want it to be like that.
That's such a good scene. Oh, I love Devil May Cry 5.
And I love that the final boss music just immediately kicks in when you start to be serious. Just like, oh my gosh, yes.
Yes. Good game.
Very, very good game. Can 100% suggest it to anyone who hasn't even played the series, even. Like, it
Yes,
helps.
that's the thing. I didn't play the series. I know Dante, of course, but I
Yeah.
never played the series before. I really want to play the other games now.
Yeah, I actually think there's like a special pack you can buy on Steam or something.
Yes, the...
DMC is basically everyone's fantasy ass-kicking game. Okay, I'm gonna say it like this. Devil May Cry is like a hybrid between Doom and Final Fantasy, or a Dynasty Warriors game.
Except it's good, because Dynasty Warriors sucks.
Not all in the Musu genre suck. Like, Hyrule Warriors, that's fun. Persona 5 Strikers, that's fun.
Yeah, because it's different. Those games are different. I mean, the Nintendo versions of those games are just so boring.
Have you ever played Suikoden and Tactics?
No.
It's kind of like Monster Hunter mixed with the Dynasty Warrior game. It's an old PS2 game, I think.
I think I've heard about it though.
You don't play Devil May Cry 2, Fire Emblem one was good, and the Fate one was nice too. Are you talking about Extella? Because I've not actually seen that.
Wait, there's a Fate Warriors game?
Yeah, there's a Fate one. I think it does basically all the anime Fate characters. I'm actually gonna Google, like, Fate Extella. Because I think it's like everyone from Fate Extra, like Tomomo and such. And okay, there's parties. So Nero, Ku, Li Shuen, Gawain, and Archer from Fate Stay Night. Tomomo has herself Lubu, which is Medusa, Karna, and the Pink Rat. Altera has herself Iskander, Jeanne d'Arc, and Gil. And then there's two that are independent. There's King Arthur, but then there's Archimedes, who is like someone else, who looks like Jade and Yuki, but as a servant.
I love Jane and Yuki. I don't care what anyone says, I love GX.
No, wait, have you ever seen Steins Gate?
I have not.
Dang. What is it, Cowboy Bebop?
I really want to watch Cowboy Bebop, actually.
So that's Archimedes in Fate.
I am gonna watch it. Definitely gonna watch it.
But yeah, apparently Elmo's the one that's at it. Yeah, I'm gonna say this, I really want the Fate arcade consoles to come into America, because it's basically Fate Grand Order, but you get to play sort of like Dynasty Warriors game, but it's like you get to play as the servants, and it's like, okay, I want to run around playing as nursery rhyme, just murdering people. You have no idea how badly I want that. It's just an intense need. Okay, I think that's good. Any suggestions, anyone, for, like, doing things? Because I need...
Oh yeah, it looks like Spike. Or whatever the guy's called. I think he's called Spike.
I'm sorry, you cut out for a moment.
No, the image. It looks like Spike.
Oh, he does, yeah!
Except, you know, fancier clothing.
Yeah, more fancy
Refined.
cowboy, I'm gonna say. Imagine a Fate Devil May Cry game.
Fate Devil May Cry? I don't know what Fate gameplay is, actually.
Fate gameplay varies. Like, originally it was visual novel, but then it went into, like, turn-based RPG where you got to pick one of 3 servants to play as.
And also into the anime and a 2D fighting game, pretty sure. Or
Yeah.
2.5D.
There's also Fate Grand Order, which is, like, kind of strategic turn-based thing. I'm just gonna say it's a gacha game. It's, like, you...
There's also a Lego game.
Wait, there's a Lego game?
No, I'm kidding.
I was gonna say, it's like, there's a Lego game? That's the first time I've ever heard of it, and I'm curious, because I'm just imagining, like, just which one would they go for, because probably not Unlimited Blade Works, because that has the sex scene in it, so...
Excuse me?
Yeah, Rin and Shiro do the do.
I thought the scene with the Nero and the what is it, robes? What is it? I don't know what to call it. There was like this one scene where Nero just comes into a bathhouse, only wearing.
Oh, that's in the encore thing. That's what they called it.
Yeah, I thought that was the lewdest scene in the anime, to be honest.
I'm gonna flat out say it. Fate CCC is not going to ever get a translation because every single game is very, very, very for, like, most of the scenes. Like, even some of the attacks, they're showing off some interesting stuff, but hey. There's a sex scene in Extra 2. Yeah, there is! There is.
But for Nipaduru.
I have problems with Nero. Big problems with Nero.
I don't even know who she is. Except he's a Roman emperor.
Nero in Fate is the biggest Mary Sue ever.
I mean, she has blonde hair. I mean,
No. Like, nothing ever goes wrong with her. A whole chapter for gameplay in Fate Grand Order was dedicated just to wanking her story. Like, I'm the best, blah, 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 blah. At least one person who had a similar status to her was at least had character and had a reason to be that strong. And
but I mean, she is a Roman emperor, and you know how those times went, right?
look, even Julius Caesar in Fate had issues, and freaking Romulus is even weaker than Nero. That's the sad part. The guy who made Rome by a story is weaker than some random psycho.
I mean, that doesn't make sense, no.
I mean, that is basically how Fate goes. A lot of random psychos are extremely randomly strong for no reason. No, Romulus is a 3-star. Like, star doesn't even matter for Fate. Like, you can make a whole party of just the 1-star servants, and you can still kick so much butt, it's not even funny. I'm, like, randomly just in chatting mode, just for... just for talking about random crap.
Pants?
Hands.
Oh, I was about to say.
No, no pants. There's no pants.
Exactly.
You don't know what's under there.
Schrodinger's. Yes.
Were you gonna say Schrodinger's panties? Because I don't wear those.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I was refraining.
Like, I don't wear those at all. Let's do...
Wait, there was a shiny? Where's the shiny?
Shiny?
I heard the sound of a shiny.
Shiny Mon.
But which one is it? Oh, there it is. A shiny Luxio.
Ooh, yes. I love the golden Luxio. Luxio.
Don't run away. Wait, I'm gonna save. I'm pretty sure you can save scum this if you fail.
Oh, you can? Good.
Turn off autosave.
I thought of
Why is
something
he-
horrible. I was thinking of having long nails or something, except for the index fingers and the middle finger. Do you get why? I think I just silenced people. Right?
Can I even paralyze a Luxio?
No, electric cups are immune to paralysis, I think. Unless you use Stun Spore.
Respect. Well, time to throw Ultra Balls at it, I guess.
Oh wait, no, they could be paralyzed with Stun Spore until like Gen 3 or... yeah, Gen 3 or... Yep.
I think he's gonna escape.
Get in the ball.
It was not a request.
You are being saved. Do not resist.
Alright, I'm gonna have to clip that. That was funny. Both me and the Luxio both did Thunder Wave. Both did not have any effect.
Yelling at each other.
Stay in the ball. Stinky.
Are you naming it Dawn?
I'm gonna name it Dawn now.
Okay, yeah, good thing you all get the joke. Well, not joke, the thing. I do need to prep for Gunpla, so you'll be... Okay, Lucky.
Girl really wants to use Thunder Wave. Hey.
You got it?
Yeah. I've seen that use Bite. Nice.
is Legends actually? Like, is it decent?
Oh, it's so much fun.
Okay, I might actually get a Pokemon game for the first time in like 6
Yeah, the
years.
story is garbage. Like, it's not worth looking into.
Okay, so the story is garbage, but the gameplay is great.
The gameplay is so much fun.
Okay.
I didn't save the clip. Or not.
I might actually get it, who knows?
Yeah, I played it on stream. It's really fun.
I see, but I don't want to spoil myself exactly.
No, don't do that, spoil yourself. It's really fun.
Like, I've seen a tiny bit of whatever gameplay Nintendo showed us, but that's about it, and I want to keep it that way.
But the only sad part is that you do actually have to capture all the Pokemon in the Pokédex to complete the whole story.
Okay, but that's something I would do anyway, so...
I only did it in Pokemon Sun and Moon.
I at least do the local decks, that's what I do.
Yeah, the local decks. I think I mostly did the local decks in Sun and Moon because there was no national decks to worry about.
Wait, why am I not... Why am I being dumb with the hands?
Yeah, the plot is actually garbage. It's just your typical Pokemon story at this point. Except, no gym leaders.
Yeah, that's kind of a downfall. Like, I feel the story... We were talking about this earlier in another chat. We were talking about how Pokemon feels like it peaked in 5, and it's been downhill for the most part.
You mean Black and White?
Yeah, Black and White. Like,
God.
Like-
I felt something in those games.
yeah. You know how, like, have you ever played Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games?
Yeah.
I felt like that when N was going in the end, because everyone's played Black and White here. Like, I was
love
like,
N.
but don't, please!
I love N. He's such a good character.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We were talking about how it's like we can remember almost every character from at least Black and White. Like, even some people we know by appearance, like, if you show it to us, it's like, we'll be like, oh yeah, that's Lenora, or like, oh yeah, it's Chili Silent and Crest. But then just immediately, it's like, who's the photographer lady from X and Y? What's her name?
God damn it, why did you say that? No, I don't remember.
Yeah!
It's not Viola, is it? Is it Viola?
I'm actually going to look it up. Hold on. Gen 6 gym moves. I'm curious. What is her name? Viola. It's Viola.
God damn, I still remembered it.
Okay. It goes... Yeah, we were saying it looks like we only remembered Karina and Clement because... And Valerie.
Oh, Karina, of course, yeah.
Yeah, because
And
Karina
Clement,
actually does something.
She gives you a Pokemon
Yeah.
with the move that's weak against each other, so you better press the correct move or you fail that battle.
We were saying that the Elite Four was pretty okay for what it was. Like, we kind of liked it, but we wish they had more Pokemon in it, like the usual 5 instead of 4.
Pretty sure Black and White had a hard mode, which is like insane to me.
Yeah, Black and White 2, once you beat the game, if you had the black copy, you got the hard mode key. If you had the white copy, you got the easy mode key. And if you interacted with each other's copy at all, you would get both keys.
I bought Black 1 and 2 because I really liked Zekrom. I was a Zekrom main.
I didn't have any preference toward it. It was basically, okay, I just don't want to have, like, crazy stuff.
I always buy the games depending on what legendary's in the box. I'm one of those players.
I'll be honest, I played literally every Gen 3 game except, Fire Red. Like,
I mean, where are my Yveltal bros at? Xerneas sucks.
Yeah, Yveltal. I picked Yveltal. I'd rather use a bird.
What does Geomancy even do, like, actually?
Geomancy I think is, like, just better power gem for something. Let's see,
That's his signature move, though.
Let's see. Is a non-damaging fairy type move added to Generation 6. Okay.
It's your move, though.
Okay. It charges the move on the first turn, and on the second turn it boosts special attack, special defense, and speed by 2 stages.
Yeah, but consider Ray of Death or whatever it's called.
That pretty much is it.
You literally kill the Pokemon on the spot, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Geomancy is just like, I am glittery and beautiful. Yeah, Geomancy is just for abuse with the Z move. That's literally its main job.
Yeah, but Z moves weren't introduced in X and Y.
So it really did suck back then.
To be fair, I feel like Fairy type kinda ruined the typing.
Not entirely, but I feel like the weakness to Steel did worse than they thought.
But I mean, Spiritomb was a Pokemon without any weakness. That's
Same with
awesome.
Sableye, but I think that's partially why it was
Yeah.
added. I think the other part was just because Dragon type was just strong and Ice type. They didn't want to
To
buff
be
too
fair,
much.
Dragon type was too strong. It's one of the reasons why Cynthia was so hard back in the day.
Yeah.
Because Ice type really didn't do anything to Garchomp because he's just so tanky.
Yeah, it's like even with the... I think it had ×4 weakness because it's a ground dragon.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like, I sent out Glaceon and it's just like, oh crap, why is this not dead yet? Also, hi,
Yes,
Xano.
Cynthia really has a harsh Pokemon team.
I will say this. I am glad that they made her hard. Because I want
Yeah.
I want the champion to feel like a champion. Like, Iris was hard, Cynthia was hard, Alder was kind of okay. But it's like,
Cynthia, Iris was like one of the funnest and most unexpected champions.
yeah, it's like fighting an old friend. That's how it felt. It's like, oh my gosh, you're a champion
And
now?
that
Heck
music
yeah!
is just so anti-champion, and I love it.
Yeah, and I feel like they kind of, what's the word? Like, spoiled Fairy type with her for the weakness because, Aggron is Rock Steel. And it's like, that's kind of a weird thing to have. We understand the Excadrill because she had it in the anime, but it's like, why the Aggron? And then it's like, oh wait, Steel is strong against Fairy. If you want hard play against Red, Heart Gold, Soul Silver Red, or like original Red.
I think those are peak games though. I mean, I love Black and White. The story is just the best the game's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
Diamond and Pearl, Platinum, I love those because of nostalgia.
Yeah.
But Heart Gold and Soul Silver, those games had just the most content, like, in any game.
Yeah, it had the Battle Frontier. It had 2 regions. It had the Safari Zone. They added the Safari Zone in. They had the Pal Park in the in Kanto. And I think that you could rematch Red almost any day, but also you could just rematch the gym leaders from Kanto and Johto whenever you want to call them for the fighting gym, like in the original.
Oh my god, how could you forget Pokeathlon?
Yeah, the Pokathlon. That's it. I was like, I'm forgetting something, but then the Pokathlon's like, oh my gosh, I loved it. I strictly went with Entei, Suicune, and Raikou because they had 5 in every stat.
It's so random, but I mean, it was great.
Yeah, like I loved Whitney just going. I was like, oh hey, what are you doing here? And it's like, I'm just here to do stuff.
Oh god, Whitney.
Remember the Dream World from Gen 5?
I hardly got to play on that though.
I played it consistently, and the worst part is I let the Victini in there. That Victini is gone.
You did what?
I thought I had another hour or so. They turned off the servers early. And I'm like, oh crap, please tell me I'm wrong. And it's like, nope. I left the Victini in there.
I went to the store to get that Victini.
I did the event because I got the thing immediately.
Yeah, I didn't. I bought the game, but I had to go back to the same store. I wanted that code. I wanted Victini.
Victini was interesting. Because
I love Victini. He's adorable.
you got it at level 15, so you could use it fairly early on. But the worst part is, it makes the game way too easy. But not easy enough that it's like a cakewalk. Like, I feel like a lot of the gym leaders have moves to screw it over.
You know, this was back in the day when I was, like, school. So, when I got Pokemon Black and White,
Mhm.
I was playing at night when I was supposed to be sleeping.
Same.
Naturally. I got to the 8th gym on the day I got that game just because I couldn't put it down. Man.
Yeah. Like, the only reason I put it down was, like, I was going to faint, and I was like, I'm going to save here. Berg, you can wait until tomorrow. Not Berg, what was her? Elisa. Like, Elisa, you can wait till tomorrow. I just did the Ferris wheel with N. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the person we're supposed to hate? How could I hate him?
And then Pokemon Black and White 2 also. Just insane amount of detail. Every gym has its own...
The Pokemon World Tournament.
Pokemon World Tournament?
You remember that thing in Driftvale City?
Yes.
Just... I love that.
Give me a playlist with every one of those songs. I need it right now.
Okay,
my PC actually, I think. Never mind.
I'm gonna just give you links to them just so it's easier for you.
God, it's just...
I was listening to them earlier.
They nailed it.
And here's the best part. The Pokemon World Tournament has a final battle theme. They hype you up to be against the champion of that bracket.
But also, the heartbeat at the beginning of that soundtrack for the finals is just...
Yes.
Everything is so good about the soundtrack. And Driftvale City, of course, yeah.
Yeah, Driftvale City. Yep, Driftvale City. Like, I love
Unova, man. Oh.
Yeah. Everyone's just like, oh, it's like New York City, it's going to be stupid. But then immediately you just go in and you just get two rivals who are amazing. Like Sharon and Bianca, they're lovely characters. Because Bianca...
I mean, to be fair, in Black and White 2, they kinda messed it up with that rival, to be honest. He wasn't that interesting.
But Hugh still had a drive to him. Not just like, oh, I want to be the best. He still had a drive.
Why, though? I love Bianca and Glasses Boy.
Sharon. Because Sharon becomes a gym leader for the first one. Bianca becomes the professor's assistant, and I love that.
It's actual character development.
Yes! Because Bianca gets over, like, okay, Dad, I'm not going to listen to you, and does something with her life. And then Sharon's just like, yeah, I'm going to teach kids now because they need to learn. And
his design in Pokemon Black and White 2 is also just amazing. You just took off his jacket, but it looks so much better.
Yes, yes. Like, that simple touch of just him wearing, like, a proper suit and just no glasses, that guy is stylish.
Oh yeah, he is.
Yep.
Some people will probably call him a prick because he's, very proper and direct. But man, he still felt like a friend.
Yeah, he felt like someone that you could trust. That's the thing. Like, some gym leaders you can just go, I feel like you're gonna screw us over.
I feel like Sun and Moon tried to replicate it, except they failed by doing it like you arrive a year later, but the story just doesn't change in Ultra Sun and Moon.
I do like one thing with Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I believe in that game you are the asshole rival, because you get to beat the champion first, and Hao gets to fight you. Which is, I'm gonna say that's...
Hao gets robbed.
Yeah, he does, but I feel like if they just gave Hao, like, a little bit more character development, and he's, like, actually feeling, like, somewhat bitter, but, like, I'm still your friend, but it's like, I want to fight you again someday and become the champion. It's like, that would have been great.
He was so happy. He was so happy to receive his Pokemon. You can just see his smile fade over time, and it's really kind of sad.
And yeah, this is supposed to be pockets on the apron.
Also, Gladion, Dio, JoJo poses. I love
it. Yeah, that was fun. I didn't play Sun and Moon, but
Gladion is so over the top. Gladion is so over the top. He's awesome.
He is great, though. I like Gladion. I will say, I do like that the Team Skull was just kind of there, and they weren't, like, extremely important to the story. They were just, like, getting blockades, and they were kind of, like, fooled to do some of the actual evil team thing. And it's like, Guzma, she's like, Guzma, you are freaking awesome, I love you.
That's another thing I really did like. Team Skull wasn't a threat. Nobody really cared about them. Everyone was like, oh, it's them again.
Guzma's best team leader.
Then Eden Foundation kind of, tries to be like, we were evil all along, and everyone already figured that out from the moment they were revealed in the trailer. I love it.
Yeah, because it's just like, wait a moment. They're all dressed in white, they're saying they save Pokemon, a lot of them are smiling. As soon as you hear the battle theme, it's like, I freaking knew it!
They are like the worst twist villains.
they're not the worst, but it's like you could see them coming a mile away. But I feel like X and Y, I'm not gonna lie, they were trying to pull Lysandre as not being the leader of Team Flare. Well, like the first part. And it's
Yeah,
like,
but I mean, his outfit and his hair, just like...
it's Ganondorf, but he's from France. That's basically it.
Don't think it's supposed to be... How are they not supposed to be a twist villain, though?
They try to do it like, what was the professor's name? Sycamore, I think?
Kukui? Oh. You mean X and Y?
Yeah. Like, the professor
way.
guy was trying to pull him off as just like, are you sure he's not evil? And it's like, no, he's an old friend. It's like...
Yeah, they tried too hard, but I mean, his design already gave it so obviously away when everyone in Team Flare was dressed like him.
Yeah. Oh, right, I remembered something. One of the Elite Four members was actually Team Flare. Like, she was a reporter, but she was with Team Flare. And I really wish they did something with that.
That was a twist, though. That was a good twist.
Yeah, like, I'm looking at it.
Except they did nothing with it.
Yeah, they did nothing with it. I'm just looking at it, it's like, I've seen you before. It's like, were you part of the evil team? And then she just flat out says, it's like, oh, you were. And I'm just
Well,
like,
I mean, I guess you couldn't say there's a twist villain, because, you know, Ita Foundation was just like, you beat Guzma in the manor, and then they just go, Ita Foundation was behind it. You go to Ita Foundation, the first guy you see is like, I'm gonna fight you. Just no explanation at all.
like,
You suddenly just fight them.
yeah, they couldn't just pull it off as like, hey, what are you doing here? And it's like, we were supposed to be off limits, and it's like, oh, if you're not gonna listen, I'm gonna just kick you out, and then you do the battle. But instead, it's just like, no, we're just gonna fight you.
Yeah, there's just some random guy patrolling, and you're like, oh hey, why is he looking like he's gonna fight me? And then he is.
Yeah, at least do something where it's just like they're not 100% knowing what's going on. Because then that's at least a better twist. It's like, hey, we have security protocols to deal with, because then it's like, okay, something's up, I need to figure it out. But then it's just like, oh, you're evil, dang
Then
it.
you go to Lucamine, and then you figure out she's a psychopath, sociopath, collecting all those Pokemon in those ice cubes.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, that was actually nice, though. I did like that.
Yeah, Lucamine being downright crazy, not like evil, she's downright insane. That's a good twist.
But it doesn't work in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon, because she is portrayed as very nice there.
Which is weird.
Even though that wouldn't work with her collection.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
if they had to do something where she's like still collecting Pokemon, have her collect fossils or something. Because then it's just like, she doesn't want to like have a crazy world where it's like, oh yeah, these dinosaurs can just murder everyone in 10 seconds. Because then she's at least doing something. Like, Pokemon really needs a few tweaks to story and such. There's plot holes and such.
Oh boy. Oh boy. I love ripping into Sword and Shield.
Yeah. I feel like you could just remove the Prince guys and be good.
Team Yell was supposed to be Team Skull too.
Yeah,
but
because...
it doesn't work at all.
Yeah, because if they were just hyping up one person, I feel like they would do a bit more. Like,
They aren't evil. Not even a little bit.
they're just the hype squad. Like, I wanted to see more of them doing stuff. Like,
And they tried to do a twist villain again with Rose, but he isn't evil either.
Yeah, he tried to be like, oh, I'm saving the whole thing. It's like, no, he's just being an idiot. Like, here's how I would have done it. I would have made the secretary lady be actually evil, because she has the whole evil look and everything when she fights against you. But I want her to be like the true villain. It's like, Rose is like, okay, wait a moment, why is everything going crazy? It's like, I shouldn't have done this. It's like, I checked everything. I had my secretary do it, and then the secretary just takes over. It's like,
Yes,
oh,
that.
dang it.
That would have been a good twist.
Mm-hmm.
Except she is a simp for Rose.
Like,
Rose.
Like, I would have kept that too, but I would have made it be like, okay, you want your name to go down in history as being like one of the best people? We're gonna do it now. And she's like, she goes for like the twisted route where it's like, okay, you want to make history, we're doing it evil. But then Rose's like, no, wait, I don't want to do that. I want to just be like good with powers, so I'm only supposed to be doing this.
You played Final Fantasy XIV.
Not at all. I'm
No,
gonna say,
then I wouldn't. But there's a character that is very similar in the first expansion,
Mm-hmm.
which also kind of suffers from the same problem, where it's just a simp. That's all.
Oh, jeez.
Her motivation is merely to beat you because she's scared that you will take the main villain's affection from her. Which is, I mean, it's not really a good motivator.
I'm actually writing a villain like that for Ministry, and I'm going to have it be like some character that the player group will know, like someone who used to work for the office, and then someone who used to work for the main villain for one of the sections, but they'll go like slowly addicted to them,
But
basically.
that's different.
Yeah, that's a whole different story. It's basically like, okay, let's make this twist villain actually interesting. We'll fight them once when they're like going crazy cult mode, but they'll get away. And that's only because it's like they are allowed to. It's like, look, we know you. You're only doing something to dig yourself deeper. Go home, please. And it's like,
But
they
that's-
say they will.
Mhm.
But then it's just like, later they're attacking the main town. It's like, okay, if you're doing this now, we're going to have to actually kill you potentially if you don't stand down. You've read the
Yeah.
book. And murder isn't exactly bad in that world because you could be revived fairly easily. It would only be like D&D, like, hey, pay 1,000 gold, you're good. But, if they had to actually kill her and they bury her, the only way she could be revived is as undead. Which fucks with the memory. I'm just gonna say that. The more often you're revived, the worse your memory gets. Like,
You know what I like? I've heard something, a video I watched on twist villains,
Mhm.
where I've heard the idea that a twist villain doesn't need to be a twist villain for the audience.
yeah, it only needs to be a twist for the characters.
Yes, and that's actually a brilliant way to look at twist villains.
Because if the characters will be like, wait a moment, why are you doing this? But the audience just like, I knew it! It still can work with the
wait,
story.
Wait. I actually know a perfect example, but it's a major spoiler for a TV show, so I can't really say it. If
What's the
people
TV
still wanna
show?
watch it. It's Invincible.
Oh, yeah, I plan on watching that, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna. But like, consider you in the game.
Yeah.
The opening cutscene shows you some guy
Yeah.
that's doing really horrendous crimes, like, and then he gets introduced in chapter 1,
Mhm.
and he's like really friendly with your party, but you already know what he did.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh no, what is he gonna do to the party? And that is the anxiety he induces during the whole game,
See,
until he reveals his true motives.
yeah, that is perfect because you know it's like, okay, this guy is untrustworthy. I really don't want to trust him, but the party trusts him. So it's like, maybe he's not that bad or something. We don't know his history yet. And it's just like, you can go so deep with it.
And that's the perfect kind of twist villain, because you already know, but you don't know when.
Yeah, because that makes sense. And it's just like, you know, it's like, imagine if, oh, what is it? What's it? Like
Kafka, yes.
Yes,
I really wanna
Kafka,
play
Kafka.
Final Fantasy VI, because he is actually a very good character with little motivation, but that's why he's so good. You just want to watch the world burn, pretty sure.
Yeah, there's
least
some
from what
characters
I've
that only
heard.
need that as motivation, and it's perfect. Fuck all my layer.
Don't forget to save.
Yeah, I am saving, don't worry.
Man, I really love talking about stories, because I still am also writing my own world building stuff.
Mhm.
So naturally I have a pretty bad story so far, which I'm still fixing over time.
Yeah, and that's perfectly fine. If you just need to have a
And
little
that's why
sketch,
discussing stuff like this is perfect.
yeah. Because you can get ideas that seem stupid, but then it's like, wait a moment, this actually works.
I've had so many things that I had in the story, which I could fit perfectly if I looked within another person's story.
Hmm.
Well, I first wouldn't think about it like that. Purely of discussing story details is really helpful.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I just thought of one. Adachi from Persona 4. I honestly feel like he's a decent twist villain because there's
He's actually a decent twist villain, yeah.
because here's the thing. You can get one story ending with Namatame. You can shove him into the TV and be done with the story. Like, you could end Persona 4 right there.
Yes.
You could also get the thing where it's like, you think Mitsuo, the nerd, was killing people, but he only killed one person. He only killed Mr. Moroka. And when
Which he actually did, which was actually great to hear. That at least it wasn't like a fluke. It's great that he actually did do something.
Yeah, like, he actually killed someone and he's arrested and he's out. And the best part is, you can get little glimpses of Adachi doing stuff, especially in Golden, because he's always ready to, like, investigate you or interrogate you slightly.
That's the thing. You don't think about Adachi because he is so stupid, normal, and a loser.
Yeah,
you know?
he's the comic relief, usually. Like, he's the butt end. Like, he's hit by Dojima on occasion.
You actually don't even feel bad for him. He's just so incredibly stupid. But then you find out he is just the most brilliant guy.
Yeah. Like, and here's the best part. If you ever notice in his boss battle, he will miss usually if he tries to shoot you. That's because every single time he killed, like, the first two people, like the one reporter lady and, where's Saki, that's her name. He doesn't do it. The shadows kill them. He doesn't kill them. So him, holding back slightly, that's perfect.
But he isn't holding back. He's just... Yeah.
His persona doesn't hold back, but he holds back. Like, every time he does his basic attack with his gun, he usually misses, like, the protagonist if he's aimed at him.
Also perfect that his persona is like a Magatsu Itsunagi. By the way, I love that. Just a perfect counterpart.
Yeah, and here's the funny part. Since Namatame was touched by Izanami in the beginning, like, the usual time when he did the thing, like, with Adachi and the protagonist, he would have had an Izanagi as well.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? Why would you care about a character that had no screen time, was always in the background?
Yeah.
But then you start to think about it during the winter part, where, you know, are finally deducting who it could be, and then it all makes sense.
Yeah, it's like, wait a moment.
He's actually written as the villain throughout the whole story, but you just don't see him. He's just that invisible.
He's always checking on you. Like, with the Risei thing, with the Kanji thing, with Yukiko even. Then, like, suddenly he's not even talking about Naoto much. It's like, wait a moment, why aren't you checking on us? And then he's not letting you explain when you're talking about the TV world and the prison, like when you get brought to the prison because of the threatening letter Dojima actually finds. And just, why are you keeping us here? Why are you not letting us go? You're acting kind of creepy, dude. And he just lets Dojima just nearly die.
Oh, you know, can we talk about Persona 5?
Yes.
Or is that still too recent?
I feel like since a good chunk of us have seen it, it's probably decent. But if we need to, we can just, like, spoil, like, saying palace number whatever or villain number whatever.
Yeah, but I want to talk about, you know, which character.
Oh, we can just call him... What should we call him?
No, I think it's too spoilery, regardless. I think people would figure it out. People would link it. So let's not, then. But you know exactly probably what I want to talk about.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Why he's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, two people who said they haven't seen Persona 5, so that makes sense.
Let's not, then. Persona 5 is worth it. I really hope it comes to PC. I want everyone to see the game, and I definitely still want to play it myself.
I 100% am on board. There's already Strikers, there's already Golden on Steam. We need Persona 5. They would
How can you put Persona 5 2 on Steam, but not Persona 5?
Yeah, Persona 5 Strikers is basically Persona 5 2.
It is actually a continuation.
Yeah. Which I've only seen a tiny bit of it, and of the scenes I've seen, Ryuji finally getting to say fuck is probably amazing.
It's really emotional.
Yeah, and it's just like, he seemed kind of meh about the character in question at first, and then him actually being like that, and Morgana actually backing him up is great.
In general, what I love about Persona games is that if they were to do a sequel for more games, you actually recognize them as your friends, which is such wild to me. I don't have a lot of games that actually make you feel like you befriended them, but because you spent like a year with them, it's different.
Yeah. Like, you spend actual time with them. You get to know them, you get to know their faults, they get to know you, even though it's not like 100% you.
Persona games are definitely not for everyone.
Yeah, Persona games are not for everyone.
It's an escape. It's an escape.
Yeah. Kind of. But
It's like, imagine that you would live in Japan.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good thing for it. It is, like, it does put the role in the role-playing game. It's pretty much it. Like, you can 100% see yourself in Japan, for sure.
Which, I mean, I really wish I had a, a JRPG style youth, because that would be so much more fun. Going to the hot springs and stuff with friends, that would actually be great.
I mean, you can always do something similar to that if you want. Like, you can just...
Yeah, but I'm old now.
So, that doesn't stop you from doing anything. Like, if you want to run around and just do stuff with people, just gather people. Like, if you want to just do...
But there's nothing here like that, what they have all over there.
So you have Inaba style, gotcha.
Not even Inaba.
It's basically, like, dead zone. And that's the thing with America, there's, like,
It's probably why I actually relate to Persona 4's location so much, actually, because there's nothing to do.
It's basically the most fun you can have is go to Walmart. Like, we're not even joking, it's basically that. Persona 4 is basically the main location is Walmart.
Every day is great, Jonas.
Okay, what is your favorite hangout event for Persona 4? Just like the random things.
Hold on, I'm actually in big trouble right now.
That's okay.
Alright, yeah. Anyway. Favorite hangout event. I've actually been replaying through the game. I am currently at the 8-bit dungeon. So I think the summer has just been so far the best. And I mean, the Naoto dungeon is coming up.
Yeah.
Which is the perfect place to grind XP, by the way, if you don't know that.
It is, because even compared to Magatsu Mandala, Magatsu Inaba, it basically the best, because there's a lot of enemy variety for materials if you need money too, but...
Yes, I'm gonna grind the hell out of there.
But it also does try to do something, because that dungeon, I believe, gives you most of the parts you need for Naoto's weapons.
I really don't like the 8-bit dungeon. The boss is really cool design, but it just really takes so long.
Okay, I will like to thank something they did for Persona 4 Golden. Changing the battle theme for that boss to actually be like the 8-bit version, that was perfect.
I'm pretty sure that was a golden thing, though. That
It is
wasn't
golden.
in the original game.
Yeah, it's not in the original game, sadly. But do you know the name of the theme? Like, they actually changed the name of the theme, too.
Wasn't it Shin Megami something?
Shin Mitsuo Tensei. They made a joke about their own
Yeah.
game, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's perfect.
I really love how people just forget that Persona is actually a spin-off.
Yeah.
It's wild how popular the Persona series has gotten.
Yeah. Have you ever played Persona 1 or 2?
I haven't, and seeing the villain of Persona 2, I'm like, wow.
So in Persona 1, most of the bosses you actually fight are other Persona users. Like, you fight a mafia boss who has a persona. You fight a girl who has a giant rat robot that is a temporary persona. And the Battle Tesso theme, oh my gosh.
They remade Persona 1's battle team in Strikers.
They did, which I am very happy about. Same with 2's battle theme in original Persona, but Tesso is a fun one. Also, there were a lot more Persona spells back in the game for elements. There used to be Zan, which was just pure force. It's not almighty, it's just force. There was earth and water as well. They also had the usual, like, fire, nuclear, psychic, and stuff like that, but most people's personas actually had multiple elements on them.
So, on the subject of personas, actually, I've seen some new designs of the spirits in Persona of Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope the next Persona game has the mermaid and Cleopatra, because I'm down bad. Those two are really, appealing.
Yeah. Now I just really want to just draw some of my Snake and Mer characters for you. I have a Skyla I need to draw, I have a couple Lamia I need to draw 2 of them. And I have 1 Sahagin and 1 Merfolk I need to draw.
Can't believe you're cheating on me with another Lamia.
No, I've got 3, don't worry. I mean, here's the thing. One of the Lamias is based on a rat snake, and she's an engineer. And then another one is I think she's a constrictor, and she is... Yeah, I wrote her down as constrictor. And she is a fashion, like a model.
But I can also constrict you.
Yes, I can do that with my wings too, but hey. Yeah, the censorship of the Persona 2 boss is hilarious. They just put sunglasses on him. Like, how do we make him less threatening? It's just like, okay, let's make him have sunglasses. Just the rad Hitler.
It's insane to me that he's actually just straight up the villain of that game.
Oh, also, Persona 1 is the only time we ever see Igor's actual boss, because Igor is not the one who rules over everything and does the things with the Personas. It's actually...
No, he merely is he's an attendant.
He is
like
more or less like the manager of that location, of the Velvet Room.
Well, all the Velvet Rooms, I guess.
Yeah, and, instead of the original attendants like Elizabeth, Margaret, Theodore, the twins, and everything else, there were actually 3 other people. There was a nameless artist, a girl who was actually singing the beat for, like, the aria of the soul, and the guy actually doing the piano. I think the lady actually handled, like, Persona cards and stuff. No, the painter handled Persona cards.
You know what I would love?
Hmm.
If the Velvet Room would actually, in the next Persona game, be a room. With, like that, a piano and a singer and all that stuff. Like an actual established room.
The Persona 1 actually did it where all the protagonists could go into the room together and it was an actual room. Oh, have you ever seen Beta 64 for Persona 5?
No, I have. I thought I did, but I haven't.
Well, I know something hilarious for the social links.
Tell.
Instead of the normal, like, I am thou, thou art I, you've established a new bond. In Persona 5, it was meant to be like Igor just teleporting out of nowhere, stopping time, protagonist looks over very suddenly, and him actually saying, you've created a new bond, and just poof back to the Velvet Room. And it would have been hilarious.
It would.
Just imagine talking to, like, Mishima, and just out of nowhere, Igor just comes out of nowhere, just nose pressed against your face. You've established a new bond.
That would be great. Oh, I forgot what I was thinking.
You're talking about going to an actual room for, like, the Velvet Room, like the protagonist room.
Oh, it was something else. But I mean, if I forgot it, it's not important.
And not always. Oh, what is that one character? That's funny. Yeah, there's one character.
Oh,
Okay.
I remember now.
Yeah.
Actually, the cast of Persona 3, 4, and 5 can also go to the Velvet Room. But the funny thing about that is, it only happened during the dancing games, which are canon, by the way.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So, what I love about Persona 3 and 5 dancing is that the plot of the game is the attendants have a bet on whose group can dance better.
Seriously?
That is the actual plot. And then at the end of the night, both parties forget that night. So it's actually canon.
Gosh, like, I'm just imagining just Margaret just, like, tossing money, not Margaret, Elizabeth just, like, tossing money at Minako and such. Like a freaking stripper.
Which, by the way, really is also sad, because the song the opening song in Persona 3 is actually about reuniting with long lost friends.
Yeah.
All the cast from Persona 3, and I was like, oh.
Oh, right. You know Aigus's social link, right? The ending thing where you... For her social link?
I had a friend who didn't understand the ending of Persona 3 when it happened, and I was like, bro, don't you see what happened? Isn't it clear? And I was like, it actually isn't clear.
It was very, very clear,
It
and...
was very vague, but if you did understand what was happening, it was actually very, very powerful and really sad.
So with Aigus in the answer, the reason why she gets that persona is because in her social link, the main character touches what is basically her soul, like quite literally touches what is basically her soul, which explains why she has that persona, which is interesting because if that's all it takes, imagine what could happen if a whole group of people were able to have that power. Like, not how does the Persona Q games where they all can do that. Like, everyone gets 2 personas, but they can have any persona, including their own. And, like, I'm just imagining, what if everyone was the wild card for that run? Because there could be more than one, shown by Adachi and such.
And it's shown in Persona Q, but I don't know if Persona Q is canon, because I'm pretty sure most Persona games are actually canon, even the spin-offs.
Persona Q is canon, they just forget at the end of it.
Which does mean that, of course, you can see that there can be multiple wildcard wielders around the same time.
Yeah. Like, sure, there's Aigus, there's... what's a good name for him?
Minato, what is...
Minato and
Yu
Minata, Yu and Ren.
Yeah,
But,
I think Ren is the canon name.
yeah,
I don't know.
Amamiya Ren, but they also switched Amamiya to something. Okay, but who would
Akira,
win though? Stand users or Persona users? Depending on the Persona users in what game.
I think stand users, but that's not bias. It's because stand users can only stand users can see stands.
Yeah,
Which
but
I'm pretty sure isn't the case with Persona.
it's not the case in 5 because of the ending with that. Like, the only issue is Sojiro can never understand Morgana.
Yeah.
Which I really wish they just took him in for like 2 seconds. Okay, you can understand the cat now, right? Like, not give him a persona, just be like, okay, you can understand Morgana, enjoy. Because that would have solved so many issues of them talking back and forth.
That's fair, but I'm taking the pre-established lore, so I mean, I don't know how those interactions would happen in different universes. So from a lore standpoint, from a purely lore standpoint, it will probably interact like that.
Yeah, because if... Let's just go and say, like, stand users and personas are basically the same thing, but with different power levels, like different traits.
Then they will be able to see each other naturally.
Yeah, so let's
Since
just...
they're established as... Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, let's just assume that. Anyway, you were saying?
No, because they are established as 2 completely different kinds of energies. Because personas are a...
Embodiment of the soul, right?
Of the soul, yeah. Well, stands are kinda the same, except they are like actual power.
Okay. So it's more like just your soul is given physical form.
You are born with the ability to wield stands, unlike personas, which you can learn to wield. True,
Also, they
stands
break
break the rules all the time.
Yeah. Stands 100% break every single rule they can when possible if they need to. Which is okay.
When you think about it, the last battle in Stardust Crusaders does not make any sense at all.
I've actually not watched a single episode of JoJo. I'm gonna say that.
Well, it's basically the main guy, the main villain, can stop time, which is actually such an overpowered ability. It's actually so overpowered.
Yeah, I mean, I can assume, obviously.
Which you can see because before they realize what the ability is, you can just see one guy who's been there the whole story. He just gets flown away and just dies like that. It's really shocking because it's so sudden. And then they realize what the power is, and then you can see what he does in the time. And when he stops time, he just has like 8 anime seconds, so it's like 30 minutes.
Yeah. I love
So
that.
he can just do whatever he wants. He can just throw knives at somebody already. He just has tons of knives for some reason. He just throws them at somebody and then just waits for times to resume. But the main character can obviously move through time for some reason. Because he had magnets?
Yeah,
Was the
magnets.
That
Magnets,
was
how do they
bait.
work?
That was the bait initially. But then they revealed like, oh, they're the same kind of stand because he uses the body of his grandfather. Yeah, Jojo is weird.
JoJo's
So-
really
So
weird for how
suddenly,
it sounds.
the last episode, he's like, "Oh yeah, I can stop time too." It's like, what? It's really cool when you see it though, but I mean, when you think about it, it doesn't make sense.
I feel like it's one of those moments where you need to turn your brain off at certain fully.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible he definitely did it before in episode 1. I think he also kind of did it, the time stopping thing. But as established by the writer, he writes as he's going. So episode 1 could have had completely different meanings as to why he got items from out of nowhere instead of, stopping time. That's why a lot of things don't make sense in the JoJo universe, because I think he did say that he writes as he's going. Which, to be fair, has worked so far, so I mean...
Yeah. It's basically, well, it's worked so far for me. How is it working for everyone else? And everyone's just like, I need to get a whole dictionary at this point to, like, know the lore. Like, I don't mind if I need to know a lot of lore to get some stuff, but I do mind if I need to have, like, 15 books, like, Kingdom Hearts style.
That's the thing, I don't want to care about, thinking about JoJo a lot, because I do love Jotaro. He's just so insanely edgy and cool, and man, he's so cool.
I feel like that's a big draw to it. It's just, man, he's so cool. Which I will someday watch some JoJo. Like, I don't know when, someday.
I really like the first 2 parts. A lot of people don't like it, because there's no Stanslet, and it's all about Hamon breeding, which is just power through breeding, which is really interesting to me, and that turns into Stan slowly. But I mean, the breeding is so cool. It's just such a cool way. Yeah, the Pillarmen are awesome.
Yeah, Pillarmen are great. I love them. The theme got deleted off of YouTube and someone else uploaded it.
No!
Someone else uploaded it, but I'm like, why is this gone? Why is this gone? And it's just like, I'm going through all my playlists, and it's just like...
Young Joseph is, I think, my favorite main JoJo. Just Young Joseph from part 2.
Part 1, heroic willpower. Part 2, schemes and vampires.
My guy just pulls out a Tommy gun out of nowhere and starts shooting a vampire. It's just the best. Like, he actually had a Tommy gun on his pocket. It's so wild.
Yeah, I need to watch JoJo at some point. I don't know when or
You know
how.
what his brilliant strategy? You know what his brilliant strategy is when he realizes the bullets don't work on vampires?
What?
Running away.
Well, yeah, there's nothing wrong with running away. If you need to live, run. Like, that's the
He
one
just
thing
goes
most
like-
people think.
He just goes like, there's his friend. was like,
Nigerandayo!
what do we do? Yeah, he just goes, Nigerandayo.
I have seen that one thing where the dub where he was like against cars, like, I've got the plan. And just that car scream is just, oh my gosh, that was so guttural.
Whee! I've got a plan. And it's like, oh no, not that plan.
And just steals the thing and just runs.
I do think the dub is also definitely not that bad.
Yeah, I keep on hearing
But I
it was like the
do
dub for
watch
JoJo is
it.
actually decent.
But I do watch the Japanese dub because, I mean, Oda. All that stuff, the good stuff, the good noises.
The good noises. R5 Stan
Yeah.
Mafia.
Part 5 was amazing. I actually did not know anything about Part 5 and I loved it so much.
I feel like someday when I watch all the JoJo stuff, I'll be immediately just accepted into this giant community.
Yeah, I can tell. I haven't watched the top track 32 track.
We just call her Drac. Like, based on Dracula and stuff.
Yes, Joseph having the English is also really good. English is always good.
English. I mean, we like the Persona songs, so it is always good.
God, Persona songs, yeah.
Which series has your favorite songs?
Favorite soundtrack? Ooh.
Reska
Ooh,
Kyoso, thank you for following. Welcome to Akitoya Academy.
I think I have to hand it down to Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy, which one? Like, if you had to pick out one song.
I'm really leaning on 14 and 7 remake, because the 7 remake soundtrack has actually blown me away.
I need to play the 7th remake. I am heavily biased towards 10 because I loved 10's Blitz Off.
You're one of the few persons who actually like that minigame then.
Yeah, I loved Blitzball. It's just like I really would play that for real if I could.
Okay, but what are your opinions on 10-2?
With Yuna and the other two.
Yes.
I do not remember that. I watched someone else play it when I was like in 2nd grade. Like, okay, what's this game about? And it's just like, okay, I'm just like idly sitting by. Then they switch to Resident Evil when I'm not looking. It's like, oh, cool, zombies. And just immediately forget about it.
7 is like, it's beloved because it's nostalgia. It's the same reason why I love Platinum so much. Platinum isn't the best Pokemon game, yet I'm blinded by nostalgia.
I
I'm
love
brave enough to
Platinum.
admit it.
Like, the whole addition of so many things, like the Distortion World was an amazing thing.
Platinum, I have tried to play through Diamond, and I can't. It's just so much worse compared to Platinum.
Yeah, there's so much just missing. It's like with Explorers of Sky, or like if you play Emerald and you want to go to the Battle Frontier or post-game. It's like there's not a lot of post-game in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. In Ruby and Sapphire, but in Emerald there's tons of post-game you can do. There's Steven if you want to fight him. There's the Battle Frontier. There's the Altering Cave. There's the Groudon and Kyogre things. There's Rayquaza if you want to catch that after the Elite Four.
Wait, do you hear that cry in the distance? I hear Venus.
It's a Rinny! Hello, Rinny! Really need to catch up on JoJo and Nerf for 5. Like, I feel like as soon as we talk about JoJo, just we get everyone just crawling out of the woodworks, just like, JoJo?
Yeah, you can mention JoJo online.
JoJo? Did someone say a JoJo?
To be fair, I'm really passionate about Pokemon. I really want to rip into Sword and Shield more, but I'm not gonna do that.
Oh, I can! I hate how the DLC makes it so that you can have the Pokemon out.
I hate how the game is a linear path towards the end.
Yeah!
Have you seen the world map? Have you actually seen the world map?
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. Like,
It's literally a straight line towards the end.
you're sure staring at me? Oh, those are where the wings go. Like, those are where the wings go. I'm not doing, like, Yamame's eyes on her chest or something like that.
I know there are people who like Sword and Shield, and I respect your opinion. However...
Sorry, I'm adjusting my butt.
However, the games are never gonna get better if you pay for Sword and Shield.
Yeah. That's basically it. Like, if I ever play Sword and Shield, I'm pirating it. Or, like, buying a used copy.
Yeah, Reska, it really is kind of bad.
I would highly suggest, like, if it is, like, you had to play that as your first Pokemon game, I'll allow it. But I feel like if you want to play more Pokemon, Black and White or Gen 4, like Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Put buttons on the apron? Where? Okay, I'm gonna just point this out real quick. Do you see how many lines I've tried to do for the bus size? Like, there's like 6 different lines. It's like, the biggest is probably the best. That way it's like even with the hips.
The thing about previous Pokemon games is also the EXP share is optional, because I heard that in Sword and Shield you actually cannot turn it off.
Yes! I hate that! That is the worst thing. That's probably what's stopping me from playing Sword and Shield. I don't want the EXP share. Sometimes I just want to level up one Pokemon. That's it.
it's been buffed to hell since Black and White. It
Mhm.
turned into a key item, I think, in X and Y,
They do.
which you could turn off.
Which is good. Like, that's okay. Like, if you want to turn it off, that's okay. And I am glad that they give it to you after the daycare. Because then the daycare can people like, oh, I want to raise this Pokemon up, but I don't want to have a battle. It's like, you can just stick a thing in there and just bike around a bunch. Like,
The thing about the XP share being a single item is that you can catch a new Pokemon, put the XP share on it, and it can catch up so you can continue the story
yeah.
quite quickly.
And then you
with
can
your
just
new
turn it
Pokemon.
off when you're done.
You can just take it off again, you can put a better item on it.
Mm-hmm. Which...
That's how I love to play the games, because you don't really grind a lot. I play Pokemon Red, the original.
Mhm.
That is the game where you do grind.
yeah, like...
But in the other Pokemon games, it's not that bad of a grind.
Yeah, because, like, at worst in Heart Gold, Soul Silver, you need to grind for beating Red. That's it. Like, all the gym leaders in Kanto are around the same level. Like, one or two of them might be different levels. I think Brock's actually fairly high level, even though he's the first gym leader. But, like, Lieutenant Surge, Erica, and I think Sabrina are... Because you can fight those gyms in any order. But Blue is a higher level because you need to defeat every other gym first. And then Red's just, like,
also
level
has
80.
a diverse team,
Yeah, which he's not
which
just
a
ground
lot
type.
of gym leaders don't do.
Like, I really think some gym leaders do need, like, this is my type focus, but I'll have some other Pokemon that fit well with the type. Like, I did like how in Gen 3, in Hoenn, Meditite was everywhere in, like, the electric, the water, and no, the electric is the psychic, the fighting, and the fire gyms, because they could learn those moves, and they were fairly good with them. Like, they can learn the elemental punches, they can learn, like, Incinerate and such. Which, it fit, because that made sense. And it's like, oh crap, a Pokemon with Meditite. And I brought it to a Fire-type gym, and I'm using a Rock-type. That's kind of a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they at least prepped. But then it's just like, yeah, we're just going slowly focused for this. It's like, why are you doing that? I thought in the Fairy-type gym, I thought it's like I would expect at least one Steel Pokemon or at least some moves for it. Or like a Fighting-type Pokemon.
I do get the argument that you have a hard time investing long time in a game because of work and other life stuff.
Yeah, but that's why I want the keys back from Black and White, but just make it be like in the beginning, where it's like, hey, I don't want to go for like a super challenging thing. It's like then they have the EXP share off from the beginning. But it's like they want normal.
I did play those games when I was a kid, so I had a lot more time.
Yeah.
However, Pokemon is vectored to kids, as they have stated multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
It's why the games are getting easier and easier. It's why stuff like the Battle Frontier is gone, which is actually a really bad reason, because
Yeah.
kids apparently don't like post-game, which is
Stupid.
the worst excuse I've ever heard.
Like, what kid would not want more video game to their video game?
Do you think I play Pokemon for the story? I'm one of those people. I play Pokemon for the story. So when the story is disappointing, I'm disappointed. However, post-game is there for me then.
Yeah.
How much post-game was there in Sun and Moon?
In Sun and Moon, not much.
You have the Battle Chateau again.
Which sucks.
It's the Battle Tower, except it's a mansion.
Yeah,
And
like,
I
keep the
had
Battle
enough of the
Chateau
Battle
in
Tower.
X and Y. That's it. That's all we want. Like, even if we only had the Battle
know.
Tower in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, I would have been like, oh, okay, that's...
Yeah, but it was Alpha Sapphire, not the Battle Tree was in Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
But it's the Battle Tower. The only thing I loved about the Battle Tree, red and green, or blue, whatever, I don't care. It's scary for me.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only thing I really liked about the Battle Tree. Those two came back. They had an awesome remix. They had lovely vacation designs. I like it. Where was Green though? Game Freak. Where was Green? Where was Leaf? Whatever her name is.
Leaf, yeah, we also called her Leaf.
Where is she? She's
What about the one girl from Crystal? Like, we have never seen that girl from Crystal again. Like, in
Is she
Pokemon Crystal,
Is Leaf actually canon? I don't know. Is Leaf canon?
Leaf from, like, the original,
No, not from the original games because
like,
she
Fire
wasn't
Red, Leaf
there.
Green. Yeah, she's canon.
Yeah.
Like, she's meant to
Word.
be, like, the kind of tomboy asshole character. But we have not seen Lyra from Heart Gold Soul Silver again.
Oh my god, you're right.
We've not seen the Crystal character. Because the girl from Pokemon Crystal was like Lyra, except she had blue hair. Like, let me get a picture.
There was an artist who made comics.
Her name was
about
Chris.
Green or Leaf coming towards Alola and then hanging out with Red and Blue. And she was just an wholesome small bully, right?
Yeah.
Those comics were great. I love the character dynamic. It's something that would actually, fit. Them all three being friends.
There's Chris from Pokemon Crystal. That is her canon name with the one dude. And
Chris.
it's just, we've never seen her again.
Oh my god, you're right. I think she was in the anime though.
No, she was in the extra episodes for Raikou. Remember that, Pokemon Chronicles?
Oh yeah.
Which, I love Pokemon Chronicles. That is probably one of my favorite things ever, because I loved all the side characters. Like, what character can you name from the anime, from like the beginning one, if you've ever watched it?
I have never watched all the episodes. I really want to do that someday, but when anime goes on as long as One Piece, I'm starting to lose
Interest in like the long ones.
hope that I can ever catch up.
Yeah, that's kind of me
Because
with some
One
D&D
Piece-
streams.
One Piece, I don't really have interest in One Piece. However, a lot of the characters do look really cool.
I like the one Oni girl. What's her name? I think her name's Yumi or something. Hold on. Like,
that's
she's
the
an
thing.
Oni, and she has 2 bats, and I just see that. It's like, I need to be her.
That's the thing, right? I actually love the Pokemon anime and its filler because it makes the region feel more alive. Because it's actually a huge, giant region where anything can happen, and even smaller stories.
Yeah, not just like, okay, we need to go to this town. There's actually like smaller towns in the way, and I like that. Like, you can have the characters of the day. Also, I found her name. Her name's Yamato, and she is adorable, and I love her to bits.
Which is why I really, really wish Pokemon games were just huge open worlds, like an actual MMO style open world. Just a huge region.
I am actually hoping that the next Pokemon gen in Spain, or if they go for like Mexico or whatever, Latin America, if they actually base it on like Legends Arceus for size and like mechanics, I want them to just go crazy with smaller towns, like Verdant Turf Town, Pacific Log Town, stuff like that. Because that's why I love Gen 3 so much. There's all these little towns like, okay, we're stopping at Lilyco City. Okay, we're stopping at Pacific Log Town, where you just need to heal up, get some items, get out. And it's like we can meet all the locals and stuff like that. That is just fun. It world builds.
Yeah, like you gotta realize, the Pokemon anime, one route, which you just walk a straight line down, fight a couple trainers.
That's like 7 episodes.
That's like 7 episodes in anime, where there are towns in between. I absolutely love that. It makes every region so much more lively.
I think, like, with the original, when Ash is going from Celadon City to Saffron City, there's, like, 3 towns in the way, and they all have this thing. Because it's, like, there was one episode with Jigglypuff doing the town that's, like, the casino town. It's not, like, Celadon City. It's, like, strictly the casino town. Then there's the carnival. Then there's just all this other stuff in the way. It's like, where was this in-game?
I can't blame Game Freak for everything. I mean, I give Game Freak a lot of shit. But they do have to release games every year, basically, which...
It just lowers their quality so drastically.
But also they can't reduce file size for shit, though. Let's be honest. Pokemon games... Have you seen how big was one Pokemon again? I'm pretty sure it was data minus Sun and Moon. Pokemon file size. Let's see if we can find it. I can't find it. But there was a leak where basically one Pokemon just took so much disk space. Just one Pokemon from the whole text. It's insane.
Okay.
It is wild to me that they can't compress their files.
I
I'm
also
not saying
really wish Game Freak would hire more people, because if they at least hired more people, they can at least get the game out properly with no like big. Because
But how
I think their team's like only 30 people usually for like one thing. It's like
they split the team?
yeah, they
They
split it.
split the team for Arceus and BDSP.
And just like both games could have been great if you just released them at different times or had more people.
It's as much as like Arceus, right?
Yeah.
Come on, how can you release a game that looks like this in 2022? I mean, I'm not all for graphics, but I mean, Game Freak has to catch up at some point.
Yeah. Also, for Legends of Arceus, have you played Okami? Or, like,
I still want to play Okami, actually.
it is on Steam if you want to play it. Oh, muffle. Anyway, if they did the art style like Okami, or like similar to like old Japanese art or something for Legends of Arceus, and they just kept the graphics like that, that would have been perfect. Because if they just stylized it a bit more, they could have kept the disk space small still. Well, like, small compared to like other things that they could have done. But then they wouldn't need to be like crazy like that. Their team is puny compared to the demands placed on them, and they clearly have money and demand for it. Yeah.
Look, the thing about Game Freak is, I don't like them. I will just straight up say it. I don't like the games they're putting out, mostly. Arceus is actually an exception. But Pokemon Company is also very much blame here for not giving them time to actually, make proper games.
Yeah. Like, if they just gave them even, like, an extra 6 months, that would be a lot more time to polish stuff, make sure everything's working properly, to maybe add just a little bit extra that they want to add that they couldn't normally. Because 6 months might not be a long time for game dev time, but it also gets people more hyped. It's like, oh my gosh, it's coming out an extra 6 months later. What are they adding? You will get more people, like, curious about the game. Because with Pokemon, the longer they wait for something, the longer you'll get people hyped up. Because there are people who do countdowns, fan stuff, whatever, you name it, they're doing it. And
There was a stream up for years where Pokemon were running down on an escalator with a certain town music playing from Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. Until the remakes were released.
Yeah, Furret was walking up the escalator.
Yes, I loved it. I tuned in from time to time.
Same.
It's insane to me how dedicated that person was.
And then they had that countdown up. It's like Furret will finally reach their destination. It's like, gosh, no. And I'm really hoping they do it again for the next Scarlet and Violet Pokemon game.
I feel like people, through the hype, did not realize that they did not this announcement came from nowhere, and it's only like a half a year away. Is nobody actually scared of that?
Yeah, like that was just they didn't say like coming next year. They said coming for the holiday season, and it's like, that's kind of a bad idea, Game Freak.
It's probably the reason why the Pixel games are so good. It's because, first of all, it's easier for space, file size. You can copy-paste assets. I mean, the Battle Frontier has just been copy-pasted over and over again, yet I don't care.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The Battle Frontier is always acceptable because it's like, hey, did you not beat them in Platinum? Now you can have a whole new team and actually go against them again. It's like, okay, perfect, I'll do that. And I actually got like 3 extra symbols because of it.
The rules, it's so much fun.
What was your favorite Battle Frontier facility?
God, I think the arcade, because of the funny RNG.
I loved
Even though
arcade.
Most people wouldn't probably like that because of it, but I actually liked it.
I love the Battle Pyramid from Emerald. Like, I will go full dungeon crawler any time of day and be at this, like, the top fighting Brandon just right there. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, I grew up with the Platinum Battle Frontier, sadly. Well,
You would
not
probably
sadly,
like the
because
Battle
it's
Pike.
great.
I'm not saying that just because the Battle Pike is a giant viper. It's because the Battle Pike had you actually like be rewarded for chancing things. Like there was one lady who would tell you what is in one of the rooms. Like she'll give you a vague description, and there's always like, here's one trainer that is extremely powerful with our things, and that trainer is kitted out to fight against you. Like they'll have weaknesses, they'll have things that just screw you over, and at the end you get a full heal. And not like the item, like you get fully healed. You get your HP, PP, everything back. And you had to go through, I think it was like 10 or so rooms in the battle pike. I forget what the number was. But at the end, you'd be awarded because you could think clearly. But if you only go through quickly, you will be like, okay, I didn't heal first, and I'm going up against the frontier brain. I feel like I screwed up. So it is a whole risk-reward system. Because there's also an area where you can fight wild Pokemon in there. I think you fight Milotic, Viper, Gardevoir, and Medicham. And it changes depending on what your team is. Like, if you have mostly dark types, I think you'll avoid Gardevoir.
I think a lot of people actually dislike the pixel remakes from Final Fantasy Drag.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying they don't like the Final Fantasy 1 remakes and stuff.
Because I feel like a lot of remakes, remasters have that, where they fix quote-unquote assets.
Yeah.
Have you seen what they did to the Team Galactic base in BDSP?
No, what'd they do?
You probably remember that when you go at the top of Team Galactic's base,
Yeah?
there's just this super cool space background, the stars, and like in Sarvis's room.
Did they screw that up?
They made it a generic building.
No!
I need to look it up. Alright, there it is. They made it just this.
That sucks! Like, I know Platinum added a lot, but they couldn't just, like, have an extra decal on the freaking wall.
It's insane to me how lazy that looks.
Yeah, that is just disgusting. Like, I feel cheated just knowing that.
And then you have the Fieldstone building, right?
Yeah.
Look at this. This is accurate. This is actually accurate. This is what it looked like.
Oh, was it
Maybe
like...
a little bit.
Yeah, they at least added, like, the G and the other stuff.
But this is basically what it looked like. This could pass. But Cyrus's room, though. Bro, why does it look so basic?
Oh, okay. I remember what I was going to say. The underground is ruined.
I haven't seen it. It's basically a wild area, I've heard, though.
Yeah, there's no capture the flag. There's no, like, secret base building. You get a cave that you put statues in. There's no other furniture. That's it. Like, the statues just boost the chance of you finding that thing. But there's no traps. There's no secret base hunting. There's no flag. There's nothing. And I'm just like, why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Actually, I'll look it up on YouTube real quick to see the original base again. Oh, sorry. It even had dark and mooded light. Just look at this difference.
Yeah, the whole dark lights, that I remember. And it's just like, oh my gosh, going through that. It's like, I feel like I'm actually sneaking in. And I'm going to actually, like, fight someone important. Meanwhile, if all the lights are on, it just feels like I'm just going to an office to say hi to some dude.
Which, I mean, it is. It is an office. But, I mean, Team Galactic is really, you know, supposedly menacingly set up. I mean, they are, though. Cyrus's plan is actually really... In the anime, they did Cyrus so much justice. I don't know if you have seen the episodes he's in.
I don't remember them. I have... Okay, for the anime, I stopped watching, like, halfway through the Pokemon Black and White series. And I, like, came back just to see what they were doing with X and Y, just for fun. It's like, Serrano's interesting. There are some good moments in the anime, like when Stoutland dies in the Sun and Moon one, but a lot of the villains were given a lot of good justice, because Chorus even shows up in the end. Like, oh my gosh, you're actually in here. And this guy's just the biggest nerd ever, and it's like, oh my gosh, you are perfect.
Chorus was also a great addition to Black and White too.
Yeah, I love
You knew
Chorus.
he was evil. You knew he was part of Team Galactic, Team Plasma. But I mean, like, he wasn't hostile at all. He never was. Even when he fights you, he isn't hostile.
Yeah, he is, like, he's the analytical villain. He is the planner. But when he fights you, does have that moment where it's just like, okay, this guy's not trying to threaten us, but his team is threatening.
He even says, I'm pretty sure, that he doesn't care about the plans of Getsis.
Yeah, that is. Like, he just wants to be able to use his tech.
Yes.
Sent me a sample?
Which is even wilder to me that he was in Pokemon Sun and Moon. He shows up during the one part. And he's just like, yeah, I'm helping the Ether Foundation. And then he just never shows up again.
Okay, yeah, Drax sent me... Sorry, he shows up in Sun and Moon.
He actually does. He shows up in a cutscene, he's just behind you, he just says, he's tapping on his arm computer pad thing, he's like, oh hey, oh yeah, I'm helping the Ether Foundation. And then he just never shows up again.
Like, he's not even an optional boss or anything?
He is in Battle Tree.
That's it? That's it?
I mean, during the trailer, people actually thought they saw his hair in the trailer. With the, the yellow Ahaiga with the blue tip.
The Internet Explorer head.
And it's actually insane because their theory was right, but it wasn't him during that cutscene.
Just imagine if Colress returned and was like working for another villain group or something. Like, that would have been just insane. Just, wait a moment, Colress? You'd get so many old fans like hyped up for like actual fun stuff involving it. It's like, oh my gosh, yes, 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 and just do him justice again, please. Game Freak is amazing. I think I'm actually going to end it here because I am getting hungry. A lot of progress is made on the sec. And Drax sent me the sprite variances, and yeah, those do not look good. Those do not look good. The old SNES sprites were perfect. They could have just kept them the same and just released them. Like, maybe a little bit of blending here and there, but just... Here. I'm still gonna probably be in, like, the chat or whatever if you want to keep talking about, like, our disdain for how Pokemon should be better. Oh, crap. Up. Talking about, like...
Dollars, euro, whatever, for a game that is sincerely lacking quality compared to games like Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah, my internet just hiccuped, so...
Oh.
I did not hear anything you said.
No! I mean, I said it was kind of based, but we are paying customers.
Yeah.
And we pay $60/euro or whatever currency for a Pokemon game.
Yeah.
When there are games that actually have quality, Nintendo games that actually have quality, like Luigi's Mansion 3.
Luigi's Mansion 3 is very nice.
That game looks and plays insane.
Yeah. Like,
I sit there for 30 minutes cleaning that sand room. I did that. I love the sand physics in that game.
we could chat for hours, but I do need to raid someone.
Oh, yeah.
Pokemon will never be better because Game Freak does not care about the games that the rest of the income.
Exactly.
Games are just merchandise shifters and stuff. Okay, so...
It's a shame. Well, anyway. Thanks
Snow.
for listening to our rant.
Yeah. It was fun. I'm glad to have, like, people chat about random things that drop because, like, it keeps me going and such.
Yes.
I just need to do the wings, the shoes, which I'm probably going to change the shoes, tail, and then color, which I will have
Yes,
to...
I wonder what colors you're gonna do.
I'm debating on doing it just more of my outfit, but I'm also debating, like, maybe a little bit of, like, white or something for some things. Like, not the sweater, the apron, though. But I'm thinking maybe going more orange, if anything, with it. Like, go crazy, like, with the whistle. Like, the only thing
Maybe
orange
a
on
little
me
bit
is...
warm coloring, yeah.
The only thing orange on me are the shoelaces and the whistle. But if I do that for, like, the pockets, the stockings, everything else, it'd just probably be fun.
To be fair, it would fit the appearance you were trying to make, like a warm appearance.
Yeah, warm, but also spooky, like, just spooky.
And orange is a good color for
Yeah.
that.
Like a nice sunset orange for some things, maybe. Like warm, motherly love. Pumpkin sweater? Maybe.
That is a good idea.
Anyway, sorry for interrupting you a couple times. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry for interrupting you. I'm very passionate when it comes to these things. I'm sorry.
It's okay, it's okay. Anyway, I'm going to start the raid for Snow. She's doing Momodara, which I really do want to do again, so I will...
Sibling raid.
Yep. I'm gonna have to thank that one thing, so if you want to do that, you can just paste the Floofy Sensei raid. And let's go. I will see you all on Saturday where we're doing a D&D one-shot. Maybe take to someone.